Holy Cross. This is Brandon Grelly coming to you from my living room here in beautiful Fortville, Indiana, home of the Marauders. Tired after a wonderful youth group. Just let you guys know, the youth group at Holy Cross does their own Red Letter Challenge, and not only do they meet on Wednesday night, most of them, once a night, but they also come together on Sunday nights and kind of do a midweek talk and a talk specifically on that day of the challenge. We read through the challenge together. We do an update to see how our senior high youth are doing, and there's approximately about 12 high school youth doing this Red Letter Challenge. And so I encourage you that if you have a high school student, junior high student, if you haven't started the Red Letter Challenge yet, consider picking up a copy and having your own day one as a family. We have a couple high school families that are doing this book with their family. And just to let you know, 2 or 3 of them said that their families aren't doing it, but they think it'd be cool to see their family do it on a daily basis and check in with one another. That is awesome to see that mindset in our youth. It does happen. They want to connect with their parents, and some of them, most of them perhaps. And that was cool. Just let you guys know too. Remember that we try to connect the Red Letter Challenges on Sunday mornings in the worship service as well as Wednesday nights. And speaking of worship, hopefully you guys had an awesome day of listening to Christian music. We've had a challenge at my old church at Trinity Crown Point where we challenge people to only listen to worship music for 30 days. Again, not saying that all secular music is terrible, and not saying that all secular music is um, hated by Jesus, because that's just not true. Um, I don't think it's true. But what it does to your, what it does for you, hearing those messages through the song on such a um, um, regular basis, I guess. So that is that. We are on to day 9, sitting here in my easy chair. This is the spot in my house where it's just me. It's my zone that I get in the mornings or in the evenings. Around my zone is my copy of Zach Zender's Red Letter Challenge book. I also keep my Bible in this area. Boom. I also keep my journal in this area. And I have a book, a small book, Bible Wisdom for Fathers, to kind of keep me understanding of one of my favorite vocations, and that is a father to both Jay and Eden, and keep my mindset on that fact that God has a awesome mission for me, as well as some marriage devotions that I look at as well. Giving to your wife. That I look at as well to remind me of my other great vocation, that's being a husband that stays strong in the faith for not only my relationship with God, but the relationship that my wife has and also my kids. So awesome stuff. This is my place. This is where I have my quiet time. This is where I evaluate, and I firmly believe that it's a great idea for you, whomever you are, to have your place. If it's at your house, awesome. If it's not, awesome. To spend your time in solitude and evaluation and prayer, and meditate on his goodness, because it's available day in and day out. His blessings are real every single day. So we are going to begin day 9, which has a lot to do with that. Again, Zach Zender's day 9, Red Letter Day Challenge. Red Letter Challenge. Okay. Come with me by yourselves to a quiet place and get some rest. Mark 6:31. Michael Zigarelli, an associate professor at Charleston Southern's School of Business, polled more than 20,000 Christians of all ages from 139 countries about the busyness of their lives and how it affects their relationship with God. His report tells us the obvious: we're busy people. Almost 60% of Christians around the world say their hectic lives prevent them from spending time with God. Even more interesting is that pastors are the most likely to say they often or always rush from task to task, beating out business owners, lawyers, teachers, and salespeople. Writing as a pastor, Zigarelli, it's too late for, I'm tired. But maybe a study like this will wake some of us up to this reality. We, pastors of all people, must find a way to place the Lord above every urgent need, every pressing appointment, every desperate cry. You probably don't need statistics to tell you we are busy. It's hard for us to spend significant amounts of time with God. But when we fill our schedules every minute of the day, we lose focus. We get wrapped up in things that aren't important and just don't matter. My grandfather, who is also a pastor, recently watched a basketball game on TV with me. I'm a huge sports fan, and so was my grandfather. But over the years, his passion for sports dwindled. While we were watching the game, he said to me, "Sports are interesting, but not important." I realized I spend a lot of time on interesting but unimportant things. I put a lot of hope, time, energy, money, and passion into following sports, but I'm always supporting teams that let me down. And then Zach says that he's a Cleveland fan after all. Poor guy. Then I realized I also follow a lot of important things in this world, but they too will let me down. Family, friends, job, house, and money are all important, but all of them will let you down at some point. Some of you have families that ended in divorce, or your kids rebelled against the way you tried to raise them. Perhaps you've been there for your friends and when they needed you, but when you needed them, they were nowhere to be found. Some of you have lost jobs. Others bought a house and couldn't keep it. Or maybe you are like me and bought a home only to sell it later and lose tons of money. Speaking of money, it has the potential to let you down as well. Many of you experienced that in the early 2000s with the economic recession. My point is that Jesus wants to be our top priority. We fill our lives with interesting and even important things, but fail to create time for Jesus, the most important thing. We need to say no to many things so we can say yes to the best thing. What's amazing is that we spend time, money, and energy on things that will let us down, but Jesus will never fail us. He will never leave us or forsake us. We are focused on we are focused on the wrong things. Jesus wants us to make him the most important thing in our lives. In fact, in Luke 14, he demands to be our top priority. We need to get more serious about spending quality time with God, even times of solitude where it's just us and God. In solitude, we purposely abstain from interaction with other human beings and shut ourselves off from other distractions. Jesus modeled this before he made the very difficult decision of which 12 disciples he would choose. The Bible says he went up on the mountainside and prayed through the night. Many times Jesus sought out places to either rest or pray, which were both ways of being alone with God. If Jesus needed this time, how much more do we need this time? Um, yeah, much more do we need this time? Not only do we benefit from spending time alone with God, but he loves it when we come to him. After all, he created us for his pleasure. It gives him joy when we make him a priority. But when we squeeze him out of our lives and place other things where he should be, it's the opposite of what God wants. This is one area where Christians really struggle, and we can do better. This is the Bible reading. Here, Jesus tells us to hate our families. That's awkward. His point is that if you want to follow him, you have to put him first. He asks you to give everything you have for him, just as he gave everything he had to us. Luke 14:25 through 33. Large crowds were traveling with Jesus, and turning to them, he said, "If anyone comes to me and does not hate their father and mother, wife and children, brothers and sisters, yes, even their own life, such a person cannot be my disciple. And whoever does not carry their cross and follow me cannot be my disciple." Suppose one of you wants to build a tower. Won't you first sit down and estimate the cost to see if you have enough money to complete it? For if you lay the foundation and are not able to finish it, everyone who sees it will ridicule you, saying, "This person began to build and wasn't able to finish." Or suppose a king is about to go to war against another king. When he first sit down and consider whether he is able with 10,000 men to oppose the one coming against him with 20,000. If he is not able, he will send a delegation while the other is still a long way off and will ask for terms of peace. In the same way, those of you who do not give up everything you have cannot be my disciple. So today, challenge and reflection is spend some time in solitude. Take your Bible with you and get away from all the distractions. Try it for 30 minutes, and if you are able, do it even longer. And I would even suggest to you, the ministry team did this. We are a little bit further than everybody else because we wanted to lead by example. And I did about 4.5 minutes, 4 minutes and about 10 seconds before I checked my phone because I got a text or got a phone call, or my attention span went out the window and focused on something entirely different. And I would say that every single time you're distracted, to start that time over. And I wish I had sent this out earlier because it's going to be hard to find that half hour of time in the afternoon. It's best to find that time at the very beginning of the day. So if you get up at 7, get up at 6:30 to get this challenge done. It's 10:10 p.m. and most of you are already going to bed and don't want to watch a 13-minute video. But again, I suggest to you that if you cannot get this challenge done today, just like any other challenge, try the next day and the next day. And for some of these challenges, especially on the being challenges, you might want to do some of these challenges either daily or weekly until you develop the spiritual discipline. This challenge isn't about one and done. It's do this and let's see if we can commit it to a habit and truly learn how we were made to be. And that is praying and being in silence and being in the Word every day. Um, Without God, these are very difficult. But with God, supernaturally, this is who we are, people dedicated to Jesus. You guys have a great day. Enjoy your time of solitude. Get in the Word. And you can comment here on the site to tell me how you're doing and how your day of solitude was. You guys are great. Talk to you guys later. Have a great day 9. Bye.